Well, hello everyone. We are in Cornwall Park here in Bellingham, and I'm just taking a leisurely stroll while I treat you all as my psychiatrist. Enjoy. Well, let's talk about some interesting observations on some videos out there that try to tell us that they are the final word on the issues of etiquette in a gym locker room, a gym shower, the spa, or the steam room. There seems to be a very ill-advised wisdom that one must be totally silent going into those spaces, similar to treating the locker room, the steam room, the sauna, the spa, and the shower like entering a church immediately before the beginning of a funeral. Well, folks, I take a different view. Some wonderful friends of mine have told me that at times before I came here to Bellingham, that the steam room that was at the Bellingham YMCA was one of the most prominent social centers here in Bellingham. As the San Francisco Opera's opening night was the start of the San Francisco social season, the steam room at the Bellingham YMCA could be considered just as much prominent in the official Bellingham social season. Very fascinating. When I first arrived here in Bellingham in 2016, I partook in the social settings in the steam room that was at the YMCA. In that steam room, I've learned some very interesting facts about Bellingham. I can give you an example. In the old days, there were gay dances at the Spark Museum of Electrical Invention. I never could have conceived that until I learned that fact in that steam room here in Bellingham. I also learned that Western Washington University was perhaps one of the very first universities that had an officially sanctioned gay and lesbian student organization back in the 1970s and 1980s. Now, mind you, my own alma mater, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, did not have any recognition of gays and lesbians at the time I was there in the 1970s. WPI had their first gay student organization in the 2000s, which is a big difference with Western Washington University. Another fascinating fact I've learned in that beautiful steam room was that the building that is now the light catcher of the Walker Museum used to be the Unemployment and Job Placement Center for those who get laid off and need to find new jobs. They called it the slang was the Misery Building. Apparently, it was a horrible government building that looked as miserable as those who went into that building felt when they needed to find a new job. Very important fact that I didn't know until I was lounging in that steam room. Yet another interesting tidbit is that that same building, the YMCA, used to be what's called the Hotel Henry back in the old days. The Hotel Henry had the studios for a radio station that started as KVOS Radio. If I'm not mistaken, later on, that was sold and became KGMI. Now, I may be wrong, but I think that's what I heard there. The fact was that Rogan Jones, who started and owned KVOS television, began his career on the second floor of the building that is now the YMCA. The studio was on not the second floor, the mezzanine, with a large room in the front of the building with windows that looked out into the street and windows that looked into the lobby of the Henry Hotel. And it had a big grand piano so they can perform music on the radio. So these facts and many, many other facts I have learned while lounging in that steam room. Now, in my life, I came here in 2016. The socializing in that steam room started very, very early. And of course, since I wasn't here, I missed it. When COVID happened, the YMCA made a decision to do some major remodeling, and they closed the steam room and remodeled it out of the YMCA, which means that Bellingham lost a very important social institution. They're claiming, and I have to agree with some of their claims, it required a lot of maintenance. Furthermore, the plumbing in that building showed signs of, shall we say, getting tired. There were other claims connected to that steam room. One of them was, and I quote the person who complained, that there was too much hanky-panky going on in that steam room. Now, mind you, the only hanky-panky that I have personally witnessed in that steam room were some really wonderful facts in the history of this town, of which I have then conveyed to you in some of my videos to you, my community. Oh, and here's yet another little bit of hanky-panky in that steam room. I met a man who used to work at the Palomar Observatory and the Lawrence Livermore Laboratories. He had some really, really wonderful stories that he told me and others in that steam room. Yes, true, wonderful, fascinating hanky-panky. They took the steam room out. They also took the spa out. Now, I go swimming at Western. The pool at Western also has a spa in the pool room. And carrying on my tradition, when I enter that spa, I say loudly, hello everyone. I greet everyone. And I say, hi, how are you doing? Being autistic on the autism spectrum, normally I have a hard time getting into a social situation. So I try to turn that around and loudly say, hello everyone, how are you doing? Well, most of the people in that spa try to ignore me. I always seem to elicit at least one or two conversations, often long conversations, in that spa. One of them recently, with a person who used to be heavily involved in swimming pools, told me some very, very interesting facts about chlorine that is used in swimming pools. When people pee in the swimming pool, which is very, very poor etiquette, the uric acid in the urine has a potential to react with chlorine. Now, this is a chemical reaction. Chemistry is not my strongest field, but it forms two resulting chemicals, normally in minute quantity. However, one of them is toxic. So if enough people pee in a swimming pool, you could have a situation where enough of that toxic chemical could result in sickness. So with that, I learned it's very, very important for people not to pee in a swimming pool. Now, I guess Olympic athletes do that. They need to be told what I learned while socializing in the spa of the swimming pool at Western Washington University. So these videos I see, I want to ask you folks, why do you feel that you have to be as quiet as in a church getting ready for a funeral? In some of these videos, they suggest not even to strike up a conversation in the gym, the weight room itself. Now, obviously, if somebody is struggling, lifting 5,000 pounds on a squat lift, well, obviously you don't want to disturb them. But other people walking to and from different machines, no problem. In the weight room of the YMCA, I have been striking up conversations with a retired engineer from Hewlett-Packard, who is now active in the Episcopal Church, St. Paul's Episcopal Church here. And as a result of those conversations in that weight room, I am now involved with a project to sew together what are called safety pouches for the homeless. These are pouches that you hang around your neck, and you hang them under your shirt so they are concealed. It is a method for the homeless to conceal their important papers like identification, money, whatever, in a way that's safe, that they cannot be snatched, they're hanging around your neck, and they cannot be seen. They're safe from pickpockets. I'm engaged in that project right now and making about 20 of them for St. Paul's Episcopal Church for their giveaway. So that is a result of a conversation in the weight room that would not have happened if I had followed the wisdom of these videos I have seen out there. So there you go. I think we should ignore this advice not to socialize in the gym, the shower, the steam room, the spa, the sauna, in a gym. So, I think that's it for this brief video. And with all videos, if you see me walking and dancing in my colorful clothing, stop me and say hi, and I will say, I love you. And of course, may my love reach out to you all. Goodbye.